Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and we are finally at the end of the Black Ops Cold War life cycle. In 11 short days, no, I can't believe it either, but in 11 short days, Call of Duty Vanguard is going to be out. Nobody seems to be acknowledging the fact that Call of Duty Vanguard is 11 days away. It's almost like everybody has forgot about the game. But yeah, the Black Ops Cold War life cycle is about to end. I'll be doing a review of the game here in the coming days. In my true and honest opinion, I think that in about 11 days' time, Call of Duty Cold War is going to become one of those underrated COD titles that fans look back upon fondly, but one aspect of the game that will forever leave fans disappointed would be the player progression that we had within this year's game. Now, don't get me wrong, having cross-experience between Modern Warfare 2019, Warzone, Cold War multiplayer, and Cold War Zombies is pretty cool, but having virtually nothing to play for, on the other hand, is pretty lame. There is no 100%er challenge within this game. There are no armory credits to grind for. There are no daily contracts that are even close to on the level of what we saw back during Call of Duty World War II. All the cool cosmetics are locked behind $25 bundles within the shop, and the two unique cosmetic rewards that we get for grinding the game super hard barely work on most of the weapons. I've mentioned this in countless videos here on my channel, but the fact that we are 1 year into this game's life cycle and the DM Ultra camo and the Dark Aether camo look like this is nothing short of an embarrassment on the part of Treyarch. There is no excuse. This is absolutely pathetic for a AAA game developer of a game that literally earned tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. It was the best-selling game of 2021. But oh boy, guys, it gets worse. It gets so much worse because, ladies and gentlemen, they could have fixed it. They could have fixed these camos ridiculously easily. So, Tails Doll, if you guys remember that name, is an old friend and colleague of mine. He's been digging around within the game files of new updates with his friend Earthbound Fan for years now, and they were the ones, if you remember, that were leaking to us the attachments for the new guns back in Modern Warfare Remastered and the new weapons that were coming out in that game over 5 years ago, and they're still doing it today. Well, take a look at this. Tails decided to post a video for us to show that in Black Ops 3, by simply using something called an asset property editor, I don't know how any of this works, but using an asset property editor, he shows how easy it is for Treyarch to fix dark matter and Dark Aether within Black Ops Cold War. Now again, I'm not going to claim to understand how any of this works, but it appears that by simply moving around some materials within the different layers, this fixes the issue completely, and as you guys can see, this is what the Krieg with dark matter looks like by default, where it covers barely any of the gun, and here's what it looks like after literally 20 seconds of clicking buttons within Asset Property Manager. Now obviously, we have no idea exactly what programs Treyarch uses or how any of that stuff works, but if a fan can literally fix this year-long problem in 20 seconds, then what excuse does Treyarch have? These people whose literal full-time job is to work on the game and deliver the best experience possible for the people who bought the game can't do this 20-second long fix over the course of an entire year. An entire team of people working on camos, weapon designs, as well as art direction can't fix this simple problem for the end game camos that are earnable and require literally like 50 plus hours, sometimes even more depending on the player, 50 plus hours to unlock these camos, and they can't even bother to fix them. Meanwhile, all the shit they release for $25 within the store, those work just fine. Crazy how that ends up working, right? This is an absolute disgrace. It's a slap in the face to fans of the franchise who have supported it for so long. The people actually unlocking these camos are the most dedicated players because they actually grind the game like crazy. They don't just put in 10 hours of playtime and blow $30 on skins as much as Activision wishes that's what everyone was doing. They don't do that though. They actually play the game despite the issues, and this is the reward that they get. Mastery camos that haven't worked properly for 12 months that can be fixed in literally under a minute by developers that actually care. That's all it would take. If developers that just actually give a shit, is all it would take is like 20 seconds of their time to fix it for the Krieg, for example. Now, maybe they have to do 20 seconds of work for every weapon in the game, maybe, but that's it. Like, how hard could this possibly be for them to fix? The truth of the matter is, it goes back to a video that I made. I made a video called The Biggest Problem in the Call of Duty franchise, and I discussed it in that video, and it sucks to say, but they don't play their own game. Simply put, that is what happens. The developers of these games, they work on it during the day. They're obviously being pushed by Activision to like start working on the next Call of Duty title. Make no mistake, even though we've had Cold War for the past year, Treyarch's been working on their next title that's going to be coming out in a couple of years, which is rumored to be set semi in the future, kind of like Black Ops 2 was back in the day. So that's basically like the game that they're working on right now. So while making post-launch content for Cold War, they're also working on that futuristic game. They're being stretched way too thin. I understand that. I truly do. But let's be honest with ourselves. These developers don't actually play their own game. There is not a single person that works at Treyarch that actually has unlocked Dark Matter or Dark Aether, because if they did, they would have fixed this shit, right? There's no way there's like really anyone that works at the studio that actually is over like First Prestige, with the exception of Matt Scrons. Now, Matt Scrons I talked about in that video as well. He has like 7 days of playtime, but look at his combat record, man. This is like the lead multiplayer designer for Treyarch. He literally only uses the AK-74U and then the LC-10 because that gun was also pretty busted. So the lead multiplayer designer isn't going for Dark Matter. He's not going for Dark Aether. He's literally just running around with the actual best gun in the game, and that's it, right? That's just all he's doing. And it just kind of goes to show that even him, the lead multiplayer designer, only has 7 days of playtime when he's not like physically at work. That goes to show that no one at their studio plays the game. There's no one at the studio that's going to have more playtime than him. There's no one at the studio that actually went and got Dark Matter. No one actually got Dark Aether. Nobody actually cares about player rewards within that studio because none of them play the game. They're so like stretched so thin working on this game and working on, you know, the next game and the campaign for that and zombies for that. And the zombies team is also working on Vanguard zombies as well. They're stretching the devs so thin that honestly, and I don't blame them here, they probably don't care. They're probably at the point where they're so apathetic about Call of Duty because they've had to work within Call of Duty for so long and they've been stretched so thin for so long that the devs themselves just don't give a shit. They're like, who cares? We'll fix that camo eventually. And before they knew it, it was 12 months later and they're like, who cares? Who actually goes for Dark Matter? You know, we made the stupidest challenge possible. They had to get double kills with the Sigma. You know, who's actually unlocking that? They made the challenges so ridiculously grindy just because they didn't want anyone to actually unlock the camo and realize that doesn't work on most of the guns. Like, oh my god, like, I've been showing you guys examples throughout the video of just how bad the endgame camos look in this game on certain weapons. And I will say, some guns, they look fine. Don't get me wrong. Some guns, they look fine. Other guns, like the AK-47, you literally have to use certain attachments if you want the camo to actually work on different parts of the weapon. But in general, the camo sucks. And it's not because it's like a bad-looking camo or they're bad-looking camos. It's because they don't work on a lot of things. And that is a massive disappointment. These are things that you have to actually grind for. We're talking like you pay $60 for a game, and then if you're good at the game and you're dedicated, we're talking like 50 hours of grinding that game, like days of your life grinding this game away just to unlock this camo, and they can't even be bothered to fix it over the course of an entire year. Like, I spent more time making my Dark Matter guide than anyone at Treyarch has been trying to fix Dark Matter camo over the course of the entire year. And that's just a fact. That is just a fact. Like, the amount of time it took me to grind for Dark Matter and then edit together that video, get all the proper footage, and just make that proper guide for every challenge within Black Ops Cold War, I spent more time doing that than anyone that's full-time job it is to fix this kind of shit actually did throughout the course of an entire year. It's disgusting. I'm disappointed, man, and they wonder why people are so disinterested in Call of Duty. Like I said at the top of the video, Vanguard is 11 days away. Who's talking about it? Who actually is talking about it right now? Nobody. Like, I literally had to like go and Google because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this video here today, so I want to talk about the fact that we're at the end of the Cold War life cycle and Vanguard's right around the corner. I literally opened up the calculator app on my computer. I'm like, well, how many days between now and November 5th? I'm like, wait, 11 days? Holy shit, the game's 11 days away? No one's talking about it. There's no hype behind it. And it's because of shit like this, man. It is. Like, the fact that, like, Call of Duty Vanguard is already being kind of bashed as like being like a World War II version of Modern Warfare 2019, and people are disinterested within that setting. That's one thing, but also you look at the fact that, like, look at what happened with Modern Warfare 2019. Look what happened with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and how the developers like don't actually give a shit. And you expect us to like be super excited about the next game? Like, I already don't care for the time to kill in Vanguard. You guys know, like, I'm not a fan of like the Modern Warfare-esque time to kill where every gun like melts you in like 2 frames. No dead silence as a perk, you know, search and destroy, stuff like that. And as a result, what's going to get me through Vanguard is I'm like, okay, well, instead of like, trying for good stats or trying to do this or that, the other thing, I want 100% Vanguard. I'm going to go for like 100%er within Vanguard, do all the challenges, get the zombies mastery camo, get the multiplayer mastery camo, do all the zombies challenges, do the Easter eggs and zombies, do everything I can do in multiplayer, unlock everything that there is to unlock, like be a completionist, essentially, right? That's how I'm going to have fun with the game, I think. And then I look at what happened here with Black Ops Cold War, I'm like, I was going to do the same thing with Cold War until I realized there's nothing to even grind for in this game. Like, there is no 100%er. You can do every single challenge in the game, you get nothing for it. Back in Black Ops 4, we used to make fun of Treyarch because for doing every single challenge in the game, they gave you a calling card that wasn't even that unique looking. Well, in Black Ops Cold War, they're like, oh, they didn't like the calling cards, we're going to take that away. It's like, no, the calling card was dumb because it was a calling card. We should have got some cool shit for doing 100%er. If you do 100%er in multiplayer, for example, that numbers skin, that $25 bundle in the shop, that numbers skin should have been what you got for getting 100%er within the Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. You should have got that numbers camo for all of your guns, and you probably should have gotten the numbers skin for your operators. That would have been sick, right? So every time you saw a numbers skin or a numbers camo, you're like, holy shit, that guy did every single challenge in the game. What a demon, what a monster, right? And for zombies, that dark aether thing where you have like the aether crystals or whatever jumping out, that's also like a $25 bundle, that should have been the reward for doing every single challenge in zombies. But no, we don't get anything for doing all the challenges, and we don't even get anything for the mastery camos. The mastery camos don't even fucking work. I'm sorry, guys. This is like when Tails, he sent this to me the other day when I was streaming. We watched it live on my stream, and I'm like, holy shit. It took 20 seconds to fix this thing that's been at like a problem for an entire year. That is like the one thing that like, it's one thing to like, release shitty bundles in the shop. It's like, hey, if you're stupid enough to spend $25, haha, this is what you get. But no, they're like doing that slap in the face to the people that actually grind the game, that actually play the game, regardless of like all the problems that the game has. The people that grind through multiplayer, getting freaking thumper long shots, for crying out loud. And this is what we get. We get a camo that doesn't even work on a lot of the guns. And the same thing is true in zombies. Like, you just grind. Zombies is not hard to get Dark Aether. It just takes time. And so you have to grind all this time, and then what you get at the end is Spaz 12 that looks like this. It's like, what? Meanwhile, that bundle in the shop that makes the Spaz 12 look like a ray gun, that works just fine. Funny how that works. The $25 bundle works just fine, but the thing that you have to spend like 2,500 hours to get doesn't work right. It's ridiculous, guys. I hope that Sledgehammer can learn from this. I hope that, because I know the people at Sledgehammer watch my videos on occasion. I know the people at Treyarch watch my videos on occasion. And I truly hope that somebody sees this, they pass it around as they do at their studios. If a troublemaker like me makes a video, they pass it around on occasion. And I hope people take this to heart to actually work on the games. Like, I understand you guys are stretched super thin. I understand that Activision sucks. I understand that this is like your dream job, and once you finally got here, now you have like crippling depression because you're just worked way too much and not paid nearly well enough for what it is you do, for how popular the game is, only getting a small-ass bonus despite it being the best-selling game of the year. I understand that. I understand the fact that a lot of you guys had to move out to Los Angeles. I understand that a lot of you guys are spending like 70% of your paycheck just to afford rent because you have to work out there, right? I get it. I understand. But this kind of shit is unacceptable. Don't take it out on the players. Go the extra mile, just a little bit. I know you guys work hard, but just go a little bit extra mile and make it so the stuff we actually earn in game is worth it. Because the Call of Duty franchise is going to continue to go downhill unless this gets fixed. That's how it's going to be. And if it keeps going downhill, then eventually your jobs are eventually going to be, you're going to be one of the people that gets cut. We saw Infinity Ward, unfortunately, lose a lot of employees a couple years ago. And eventually that stuff's going to happen. It's because little things like this are making so the games don't sell as well and they don't make as much money as they should. And players are becoming more and more disinterested with the franchise. It's the little things, man. It's always the little things. And in this case, it's kind of a big thing. We're talking about dark matter and dark aether here. And they don't work over the course of an entire year. But I feel like I've ranted way too long here in this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I do have some more positive videos coming out because I do believe things like the Haunting event are actually insane. And they killed it with the Haunting event. I'll be talking about that in a future video. But for this video, it's not a fun topic. It just isn't. But here we are. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day.